Secrets. Sorry about the scheduling mishap. I was looking at the original schedule. So I'm sitting in here late, or sitting in here early, like getting my stuff ready. And he's like, yeah, we jumped you. So I apologize, guy.
No, you're all good, man.
All right. So I'm going to talk about our, this is our Wide Stinger 5 Jam package, and it is directly from TCU. We ran this in 2011. I took a job at Millsaps College with a guy named Brandon Lechtenberg, who's at UIW right now. He had just come from TCU. He'd spent 3 years there, 1 year with the line, 1 year with the backers, 1 year with the DBs. And it was the best 4 months of my life and the worst 4 months of my life. Coach Weaver, I think you're around the corner from Millsaps, right? You're Madison, yeah? All right.
Yeah.
So I was not – it was a little bit of a culture shock for me. I'm a Florida boy, went to the University of Miami and worked for their football team. Lived in the Silicon Valley for 5 years, so it was a little different for me. And I mean, I learned more football than I could ever imagine, and I got to learn the TCU system firsthand from the guy that was there. And one of the things that guys don't really talk about, and I hope that you didn't give any of the TCU guys a invite to this clinic because I don't need to get killed.
Nope, you're all good, man.
Coach P's kind of secretive about this, which is kind of silly because Coach Glasgow went on with Coach Franklin right after they won the Rose Bowl, so like January 2011, and talked all about this. So it's something I always get asked about, and I've been like, I don't know if I want to talk about it, but I figured why the hell not, especially because they're not doing it as much anymore. I still use it. So we are the exact opposite of Coach Weaver. We tell the kids every single little thing to do. So the front six has wristband with the front calls. The back end gets a call from me. And our thought is on process on this. And I know that most people are in Coach Weaver style. And most people that come talk defense with me look at me and like, how the hell do you – I mean, some of these calls are long. But we segment the front and the back end. And we will code some things like if we're going to call this a lot. I'm okay saying this now because I'm not going to be coaching this year. I'm going to be an analyst for John Bosco, so I can say this. We would call this major for Millsaps. So we would have our 5 jam call for the week. What is 5 jam? 5 jam is a 2 deep, 4 under zone blitz with somebody on the running back, and it's usually going to be a lineman. Okay? Why I love this blitz is because I have run it versus every personnel grouping that you've ever seen, and you can modify it. I've run it versus 3 backs and 2 tight ends, all the way up to empty with some modifications. This package is expensive. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of nuances within it that can give the defense some problems. But for me, it was always worth doing because it was so versatile, and it did what I wanted to do, which was radically change the departure of the ball. Now, I'll get into that in a second, but I'll kind of talk I'm going to go coverage first, actually. So the coverage, again, is 240. The corners are going to vertical carry number 1 until 2 threatens outside. If 2 doesn't come outside, I carry 1 all the way down the field. I'm playing outside leverage, low hip trail position, looking for 2 coming in. I'm going to play like a cover 2 corner. But when he gets to me, I'm going to punch my outside hand, open my hips, drive him inside, and get in that low shoulder. Okay? That's for both. The SD means swing deep with 2. So vertical 1, swing deep with 2. Swing deep means I have him if he comes out and if he goes deep. So I got the wheel. Okay. The deep safeties have the half. It's get the hell out of there. What we're doing is with the blitz is most of the time we're going to spill the football. Now, of course, I picked the one personnel group that you're basically going to play force because on zone read, because you have a 3 and a 5, this 5, if you get zone, can you guys see my mouse moving?
Yes.
You usually see my mouse. All right, so when they zone this 3 right here, the defensive end is going to come back down, chase the dive, and this guy can play the quarterback. But if this is 11 personnel, the I in stinger means it's going to be a safety coming, and the I means inside. He's going to spill. If you're going to get under, we call it stack and press. You're going to get underneath it and press upfield. However, without a tight end, you're not going to really get gap schemes. And because with the lack of tight end and the 3 technique to the field, you're going to get that look, and so you end up basically almost getting 2 off the edge. We used to run it with a concept called bow slant. We still do. That's really involved. So I wanted to keep it simple tonight. But basically what that means is we set the 3 technique to the tight end and slant to the boundary. So if the tight end's to the field, it looks like this. If the tight end's to the boundary, we're going to be a shade, and we're going to long stick and bring this across. But because we're spilling on this, we can do that. We can have a long sticking guy and a guy coming off the edge. Normally, you wouldn't want to do that because you'd open up a huge cutback for zone. Why I love this blitz so much, again, it's good pass coverage. It's one of the best pass coverages you got. Okay, and we usually choose guys. Up until a couple of years ago, it was one of the things that we chose for this position. You had to be a good blitzer. With the advent of RPOs, we couldn't play quarters with poach on the backside as much anymore. We had to play the special mini, stubby, lock, whatever the hell you call it, coverage. So this guy had to be more of a straight athlete to run with verticals. So we've kind of emphasized that a little less, but we're seeing more 10 personnel. So this guy he's not taking on fullbacks and stuff like he used to. Okay, but we're trying to spill the ball to the mic. What I noticed was we kept calling these blitzes with these edge guys. Now, versus 10 personnel, I mean, offensive guys don't really like edge pressure to a two-man surface, okay? Especially when it screws with the QB's reads, because you see this guy coming, you think the free safety is going to come out. So it changes the patterns. You see a guy starting to creep, and because you have to get down and dig down the line of scrimmage to chase the dive, unless we're getting this front call where we're going to have this guy come outside of the tackle on the down block, you would have to chase. So for some reason, we set the three technique in the boundary. Now this strong safety is going to have to chase down hot off the edge. So you kind of have to show it. And what you do is, because you have to show it, that's what these lines are. They can come back and you can fake, you can bluff it. But you're getting hot edge pressure with basically two-man under coverage. It's zone match though. So if you get switch routes, you can pass it off. So it's the best of both worlds. This is our number one coverage on third down with a four-man rush. The difference is the Mike has the back and the end is going. And this guy's vertical hook on number two. So everybody's just switching jobs. This blitz is great. I have had a couple years where my DMs were not great pass rushers, but this guy was a complete badass. So we didn't even look at this as a blitz. This is a base call for us. This was our number one blitz over the 5-year period I was at Sarah and San Mateo, home of Tom Brady. Okay, so we've got the corners. We've got the deep safeties. They're vertical of 1 and 2. You got to be able to get over the top. The hard part is the Mike and the Will. Okay, they're VH and 2. What this means is I've got 2 vertical and in. Okay, so on the snap of the ball, I'm going to sling. We call it sling. If you're getting out of the box, sling out here. And if we get a run pass key, so we say play the run with your eyes and the pass with your body. So get in that throwing lane. This ball cannot crease in here. This guy has to tackle. And even though we're telling this guy, you have the quarterback, when in doubt, miss inside, this guy's going to overlap. Because, and I started to say it, and I kind of, my ADHD brain kicked in, and I'm on a 15-minute timer. I've never done this before. So with this guy coming off the edge, we noticed a lot of our blitzes, even though those guys don't like the two-man service with the open edge, guys are used to that. So they were running, you know, the yellow light fly sweep plays. They were tunnel stuff. Now you come hauling ass down inside here and bend and spill it. You're radically changing the ball carrier, or radically changing the departure of the ball. And that thing's going to have to come all the way out here. And while this is doing this and these guys are having to crack down your deep pass safety, versus fly sweep teams, you bring this guy, he spills. This guy comes flat down the line. The corner, we play a trap coverage. He comes inside. So now you've got a half safety staring at 2 verticals that are running this way. We've had a guy make a tackle about 3 yards from the line of scrimmage who was a deep half player because all of his verticals are taken off down inside. But these guys are going to take vertical and in. If they're out, they're going to man match number 1. This is not a zone concept. I'm putting my dick in the hip. I'm playing low trail, 1 inside, 1 underneath. I'm letting him go past me. If he tries to run a shallow, I'm going to wall him off. If he beats me across my face, I'm going to go knock his ass down, try to knock him down and run with it. Okay? But basically, if they all go deep, it looks like 2-man except you're outside trail instead of inside trail. But the beauty is the routes that beat 2-man, the fade and the out, switch routes, you can cover down with this zone package. Now, the expensive part of the splits, to be completely honest with you, and again, we run this coverage because, one, with the VH, with him being an inside player, we can spill the ball and he can overlap because he's already out here. And we also use this on third down. We call it 5 wall. This is called 5 jam. 5 wall would be like the coverage I talked about earlier. The expensive part of this is the slant and the concept of a box back. So the slant is going to be a 1 gap slant for run, 2 for pass because you want to bounce the rush. especially if you're playing 3 technique to the field, which you want to do now. You don't want to play 3 technique in the boundary. So the nose is going to go B gap, tackles A. The stud, our strong side end, is going to he's going to fire off the tackle's ass. If he gets a face, he's going to cross face. But if it's a pass, this nose has to work to contain. This tackle is going to work to the opposite A. This stud has basically a 2-way go in here. And the end is going to come 1 step here. So this is, what does box back mean? It means I am boxing the ball, because we're usually spelling. I'm a box player, and if it's pass, I have the back. And that is the hard concept. But what the great thing is, you'll see this a lot in 4-down teams, how they're stealing gaps, is if you get zone read, this guy makes a lot of tackles, because as it's cutting back, I'm gaining ground over here. And there's your extra hat. Nobody on this side, they're tracking to the mic, right? All you line coaches. Nobody's going to look for a DN coming across the other side. It doesn't happen. Anybody who tells you that is full of shit. So that, though, is the hard part. Obviously, if the back flare, well, not obviously, I shouldn't say that. You guys may not know this concept. If the back flares, the safety's going to peel, and then the end just runs what we call an eat stunt, end around 2. That's like a reverse pirate. So instead of the nose looping out, it's the end coming around back. Now, 3-by-1, so that's 2-by-2. 3-by-1, if this guy's a badass blitzer and it's a long yardage situation, we'll bring this guy as a changeup. The Mike will VH2, the Will VH3. We play lock on the backside, which you're man-to-man on number 1, and you are run first. Okay? Now, again, I would not recommend doing this in a run situation. This is a pass deal. Okay? And the backers rules are VH2 to your side, sling the trips. No 2, fine 3, not counting the back. But you can gain this guy in the run. He can fit wherever needed. If it's a run, if it's a pass, it plays out the same. I'm not a huge fan of this if they run verts, but this is good if you're getting switch routes. Okay? What we started to go to, if we started switching it, we flip our will to trips. So this is kind of a bad drawing. This should be the flip. We found in 4-2-5, it was stupid when we didn't flip the will, because when it was 2-by-2, the mic's in the box. So it's 3-by-1, now your will's in the box. So I'm going to teach 2 guys the same damn thing. Not a winning business model to me. This guy knows how to play out here. He's your apex guy. He can read the edge. This is your guy in the box. And now you're playing special, stubby, lock, mini, whatever you call it. I interviewed Bud Foster last week. He calls it key. I got another damn name to add for this coverage. Corners man-on-1. You're basically playing palms over 2 and 3. With the strong safety, the 3 and the mic becomes a short wall. So he takes anything back because there's nobody over here. Corners man, and then basically it's kind of the same thing. Solid, and then I'm reading the QB's eyes. He looks front side, I can work over here. He looks over here, we can double here, and that's game plan. Okay? One thing we will do, I don't know why this is messed up. So, if you like, this is your old 50 blitz, right? 50 double edge, cover 2. When would you use this? You would use this if you want to bring double edge pressure, and your dime, you got to take your dime as your 6th best DB, or you subbed on your 6th best DB to get this. So imagine this was a regular 3-4, so the will's in here and the dime's here. Well, you don't want to bring that guy. If you have a gold-nutted stud defensive end, you don't want to take his ass off the field. So he becomes your extra guy off the edge. He plays just like he does. He rushes the passer. We're clogging up both inside. The nose will take the back. We don't even engage the center. We work to the side, and it's 5 jam coverage. Everything's the same. The coverage, the front is boundary base, which tells us to get a 0-4 eye and a wide 5. A tight 5 here. Double peak means both guys are going inside into the A-gaps. Wide stinger is the blitz. 5 jam is the coverage. 3-by-1, we can wide stinger switch it and add a Waco call if we want to get crazy and bring 6. Well, you're only really bringing 5 because the nose still has the back. Again, if he flares, he peels. But now you can get the corner involved. This blitz is savage. You've got stubby coverage over here, or special whatever, so you're 4-on-3. He works out to here a little bit. This is more of a pass deal. The corner makes a fire call to the stud because usually he's rushing off the edge, so he's got to tell him, hey, you got to get thicker on this, and you're man-on-man over here, and then you've got a really good pressure, and God help you picking that up. Corner usually comes Scott-ass free, or with the 4 eye and the 5, what you'll get is fan, and And so sometimes these studs, they don't get the call or they screw it up and they come up field. The corner comes underneath straight on a beeline to the QB. Now, Drew, I'm at 13 minutes, right? 14 minutes.
Yeah, you're good, man. You're fine.
How much time do I have? Because I got a little bit of film.
Yeah, go. You got a few questions here too, so roll through that. You're good, man.
Can you? Okay, what are the questions? Can you?
Yep. So, how often do you align in a G front?
All the time.
All the time. Coach Entz, head coach up at NDSU's got a few here for you. Where are the eyes of your safeties?
Wait, the head coach of who?
North Dakota State.
The head coach of North Dakota State is a question for me.
You got like 4 of them on here.
Sir, you're asking the wrong guy. No, they're trying to see their verticals. They're trying to see the verticals. Again, I don't like the 5 jam stuff to trips because you got to have the safeties vertical at 1, 2, and 3. This is in San Francisco, by the way. Those are like the Victorian homes at Full House. Nice. I'm going to let the film roll while I answer the question. How's that?
Yep. And then he's also asking, who's your A-gap player? I think it was the 2x2 one you had up when you asked that. So
what happens is the end rolls back around, and the VH will work. Basically, the end will fold back inside. Okay. He's boxing the ball if it comes, but if that bat comes downhill, like here's a good picture. Our VH, I actually like showing. I'm a rare exception when I do these clinics. I like showing shitty film because I think you guys learn more from seeing how we bust than when we do it right. I mean, we won a state championship, finished 40th in the country. Great. How does that help anybody? I wanted you to see why it sucks when it doesn't work. Like my man here is way too fast out of there. But so the end works back around a lot. And what ends up happening is because you're getting zone read, they step down, that D end's bending hard down in the A gap from behind the line of scrimmage, and then the quarterback pulls it and that guy's right there. Or if they run zone lock, he's crossing face.
And then he asked too, if is your pressure peeling with the running back across his face?
Yes, always.
And then he wants to know if he could play this all with palms coverage.
You could.
All right, and then
a lot of people do.
Go ahead.
I just prefer
you show.
Because you have the edge pressure, you don't need the run fit as fast because you're coming. So playing with palms doesn't really give you as much. I mean, I guess the Mike's not turning his ball to the QB or turning his back to the ball when he's VHing or in palms, so that could help. But yeah, and then I know ULL runs a version of this.
Do you guys show your blitz or they come on the snap?
Say that again.
Do you show a blitz early or do they take off on the snap?
We got to time it up. This kid was not very good, but I wanted to show you how the routes fit with the peel. Like, this is a great job in this VH. Watch the patience of this kid right here.
Snag.
That's phenomenal. Here's the look on the front end. We were not very good at the box back stuff. The slant wasn't great. I wanted to show you the coverage. So we try to time it because this guy has to come out of the box. This is phenomenal. So here's the lock player or the solid player, lock player on the backside. He's playing run first. He's chilling. He sees it's run. He sees the guard pull, so it's power read. Our end screws up and doesn't box and doesn't sit there. QB pulls it. There's a safety. There's a sophomore making a play. 1 yard loss. So this is kind of, see how this guy ends up playing the A-gap here. And then this safety is just going to fit where needed. So really, the safety should be fitting in here, but he sees this guy go down here, so he makes him right and goes outside. I'll show a couple more clips. It's like, this is really good timing. Our corner is shuffling out. This is his first varsity game. He's shuffling out of there. He ends up getting in the right spot, but not great. It also helps when you have number 66. He's probably going to be a first-round draft pick at guard. Our box backs are just terrible, man. It's kind of embarrassing. Here's what we did, though. We played an air raid team, and we switched the blitz, and we played quarters. So this guy was a short wall. We poached from the backside, and I actually really like this. because they ran a lot of floods and stuff out of 3x1. I didn't like our special coverage. And then we bailed on the backside. Oh, come on, man. Don't fall down. That ain't it. I'm trying to get you guys one good box back. So I don't like a total shit show. Here's versus owl stuff or sniffer stuff. Here, I'll watch it from the end zone. This guy right here on the lock on the one receiver side, he's going to fit where needed. So he'll fit inside here. That fullback should have picked him up, but tell me when I'm done or tell me when I'm out of time, please. I don't want to take a lot of time. Here's a really good stretch team from the Valley. This is 3x1. So this is 3x1, but with a tight end. So we didn't switch it. The Will is going to VH number 3. The Mike's going to VH 2. The end's got the back right into the stretch. And what ends up happening is we end up cutting it off, but you could spill the stretch to the overlap. So you can get underneath that thing. All right, here's the corner version. So we played, if it was 2x2, we set it to the field. If it was 3x1 to the boundary. So this is a scrimmage, playing stump or special. They don't block it. It is a scrimmage. But that was the only one we had that was worth a damn to show. Here's the 5-0 look. Now he drops the ball. I think he drops the ball on this. I just wanted you guys to get a look at the blitz, so we didn't switch it. What's the irony of this is the best high school football player I've ever gone against, Kashmir Allen at UCLA. He had like a 10, 100 meters, some shit. I still have nightmares about that kid. But you can see the corner blitzing the guy from the wide side. We got two deep man-mat zone over here, and we're man to the boundary. Let's see if I got it. This is the last one. So now do we switch it here? Yeah, we just brought it. Yeah, check to the sideline. I might go anyway, buddy. Our safety does a shitty job of getting over the top of this. He's reading the QB. They didn't throw. He wanted a deep ball thrower, so all week they were cheating it. I just didn't want you to think we let that go. But anyway, here's the end zone. So you got the 0, the fly, this wide 6, and the tight 5. They should both go A gaps. He should be going to the back. You get an easy 6-man pressure because they have to count for the nose. I mean, we don't ever drop the nose. So you have to count for 6 people, and you're getting the best possible coverage, I think, in football. So that's my presentation. I'm really sorry I went over, and I'm sorry I'm late. Do I have any other questions or anything?
No other ones on there yet, man. But hey, we appreciate you coming on. That was good stuff.
Yeah, no problem. I got to go do some simulated game thing now. So
nice.
I'll catch you later, Drew. Thanks for having me.
Sure, man. If you guys don't know the podcast, that Make Defense Great Again, go check that out too. It's good.
Check the last episode out. We had Bud Foster. He reminisced about his 30-year career at Virginia Tech. It was a lot of fun.
Nice. Awesome, man.
Thanks, man.